Congressman, Governor McMaster was asked why he changed course on redistricting. He said he supports redrawing the lines to help create a, quote, functioning Congress that can pass laws without a 1 or 2 vote margin. Your response to the governor?
Well, I was disappointed in that. I was led, like everybody else, was led to believe that the governor would respect what the Supreme Court did 2 years ago, because they looked at this district and declared that the district was, in fact, constitutional, that it had been legally drawn and it adhered to constitutional principles. And the governor indicated that throughout this whole process. And so when the Senate decided that it would not make redistricting a part of its signed resolution, I, like everybody else, well, maybe not everybody, but most other people thought that the governor would adhere to that. But within 24 hours, he changed his tune, and I guess we all have the right to change our minds. Disappointed but not surprised.
Disappointed but not surprised. Congressman, we have a map of the 6th congressional district that you currently represent, and we're going to put it on the screen. Before the creation of this district, South Carolina had actually not elected a black representative to Congress for about 93 years, 1897, I believe. The district's southern border touches Georgia. It goes around the center of Charleston. It cuts through Black Belt farmland to the state capital of Columbia. It contains the Gullah Geechee coastal homeland. The district is home to both of the state's two of the state's historically black colleges, and even some of the poorest people in the United States. That's Barnwell County, Allendale County. It is rural. The district itself already looks like it was gerrymandered. I understand how you represent people in Columbia and Charleston. So the way in which that they are talking about eliminating this particular district and carving it up, I think it is, yes, about you, sir, but it's also specifically about the voting power of black people to elect the representative of their choice. What do you say to the Republicans in your state that have been claiming that South Carolina is a conservative state, therefore, and you don't represent conservatism, so that's why they need to get rid of your district?
Well, all I would say to that is South Carolina is a state that votes statewide for the Democratic ticket around 42-43% of the vote. In my congressional district, it's a 45% African-American district, and I've been getting 59 and 64% of the vote. So if it's only 45% African-American, it must mean that I'm getting some votes from people who are not African-American, and that's a fact. I'm supported by blacks and whites, Democrats and Republicans and independents, and I don't know how you decide that a state with 27% African-Americans deserves 0 African-Americans in the representation. But if that's the way they think, we'll have to just prove them wrong.
Full of shit.
If you look at the map, it's obvious they carved this out in such a way so that Clyburn would have all the black people in his district, and it would be one district. And he's the guy with the money, because he's the guy with the ear to DNC, and it's been that way. He's been in office since 1993. Black America, in South Carolina, you don't want different representation. You don't want to just try it out, see how it works out. I'm not talking about the race of the person. I'm just talking about something different. It's obvious Clyburn ain't going to leave on his own. He's not going to, he's never going to leave. So it's like, how could you stand? Rob Bass was making music in 93. There should probably be multiple districts that black people have representation in South Carolina. Not just the one. Not just the one. Right? Because it's a slither going all the way across the damn state in order to connect everybody black into one district. then that just means if Clyburn continues to be the darling of the DNC, then there'll never be anybody else. And then whoever he appoints or anoints, forget appoints, whoever he hands the ring to, whoever kisses the ring and he hands it off to, and if he has enough influence to do that, they'll get the money from the DNC, and then they will be the king bearer. They will be the person to carry the torch for Clyburn, and so on and so on. So you have yourself a dynasty. That doesn't exist in the rest of at least not that I know of, it doesn't exist in the rest of South Carolina. Not to that extent. It ain't just one guy there. One guy in the entire state. That's it. See, my issue with Clyburn is not just that, right? It's not just that he's the only guy who worked with the Republicans to gerrymander the hell out the state. Who knows what he gave them? Who knows what consolation he did, what way that he had to go to, what lengths he had to extend to in order to make that happen and get that consolation from the Republicans in a red state. Something happened. See, this is a picture of Jim Clyburn in 2024, getting the Medal of Freedom from none other than President Joe Biden. Yes, right before Joe Biden left office, he gave Clyburn his gift. Now, remember when Jim Clyburn was the one who gave Joe Biden the presidency? Clyburn had no problems being the kingmaker for Joe Biden back in 2019. You being known as the kingmaker.
Congressman Clyburn, thank you for joining us right now. Most Democrats think you're a kingmaker. So are you pretty confident now this is wrapped up for Joe Biden?
Oh, yes, I am. I think that Joe Biden has run a great campaign.
And people, and given an opportunity on national TV to make a demand of the incoming president of the United States, and they said, what do you want for doing it? You said nothing.
That Joe Biden has the right background, the right experience to help us continue this pursuit of a perfect union.
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
I'm sorry?
How do you want Joe Biden to pay you back?
Pay me back? No. I don't want anything out of this. All I want is a country that my children and grandchildren.
You made it about you. You didn't make it about your constituents. You said you didn't want something. It ain't about you, but you personally want, Jim Clyburn. It's about what your people want, and it's about what South Carolina needs, because in a notoriously high poverty, way beyond almost twice the national average. His district is almost double the national average in poverty. Wealth, one of the lowest. There's so many things wrong in South Carolina, in his district. It's bad even based on South Carolina stats. And we got a guy in that district since '93 who just helped the president win a Democratic primary, not make any demands for his people. His head was so far up his own ass, he had no ask or demand for his constituents. And I don't know if you noticed that, guys, but when you go to D.C., when you are elected to go to D.C., you ain't supposed to be there to do the bidding of a president or of yourself. You're supposed to be there to do the bidding of the people that got you elected, the people that cast your votes. That's what democracy is supposed to be about, not in South Carolina. Voting is already underway. Some 12,000 South Carolinians have already cast their ballots for 2026. So any redistricting, any of that shit would have to happen later. I just don't believe that black voters are getting much of anything out of their representation when their representation is a Jim Clyburn. And I heard he did this, he did that, but yeah, how effective is whatever he did if you are dead last in everything? When you're dead last in wages, dead last in employment, dead last in wealth, and leading the pack in poverty. If you're bragging about all the great things he's done for South Carolina, why is it not reflected in the home ownership of black Americans in his district? Here's one of the longest serving Democrats. Why is that distinction only about himself? Why is it not shown in how great his district is blooming, how people in his district are flourishing? Why is it not there where you see the remnants, the cause and effect of having that guy? What good is having that guy if you suck? If your property values suck, if your schools are not good, if the water ain't clean, if all the problems, if you have all the same problems as anybody in a district that's supposedly neglected by racist whites. I'm trying to figure it out. Point is this. What good with Section 2 if you end up with your district smelling like the number 2? And what good is black representation if it don't get you nowhere but the rock bottom? Hey, look, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it is. But it is what it is. Maybe it has to do with the wealth disposition of the citizens that you represent. Okay? And I get it. I get that. Well, then I need to see you every day on TV fighting tooth and nail. I never hear Clyburn on TV fighting for South Carolinians in his district. Whenever I see him, he's there fighting for Joe Biden. Or he was. That's my thing. Like, okay, I get it. There's a power structure in place. It's run by Republicans. Maybe they don't give a shit about you. And of course, you want to paint them as racist. Fine. Maybe that's true. Maybe it's true. But my thing is, why have you there? Because at the end of the day, my job is not to make sure your ass got a job. I'm worried about the people that you represent. And whether you black or white or Asian or Native American, if you are not the guy to get it done for these people, I got to put in the people that's going to get it done. We need the person in the slot. You know, you want your quarterback to be able to throw to help you win the game, to take it to the house. I don't just want a black quarterback to say, I got one. We need one that can win. And if they are losing with you, but you're winning, and people get to go, oh, look at the accolades. Look how great we feel. Don't we get to live through him? Well, that ain't enough. That ain't even in the vicinity of enough. So that's my point, fam. They say, oh, they're taking away black people's ability to elect someone black. No, they're not. Because them black people can still vote for somebody black. You just got to get them on the ballot. Right? Or are you saying black people can't run? That's my thing. Are you saying black people cannot run? But if they can run, they're going to have to get white people to vote for them. One or two things going to happen. Either we're going to show just how racist America is, or we could get off this bullshit that Michelle Obama was just saying, they're not racist. The Republicans aren't racist. They're just upset. That's your first lady that said it. Which one is it? The solution cannot be that a handful of black elites get to live high on the hog while the rest of us suffer. That's not going to be a solution that's going to be tenable. We ain't going to go for that no more. Them days is over. We need something better than that. So I'm saying, for now, we don't have to address it like that. We cannot allow ourselves to be put to sleep thinking it's fine as long as Clyburn got a job, as long as Maxine Waters got a job, as long as Ayanna Presley's cool, as long as Jasmine Crockett's in office. No. We have to aim higher. I don't care about those people as much as I care about our communities. All right, guys, let me know what you think of this in the comments section.